Hi, welcome to another lesson for scales and beyond. Today we're going to be talking about the A minor scale in the basic position. Before we get started, let's go ahead and get our music paper. It says the A minor scale, basic position. Go ahead and tune up the ukulele while you're at it. So pause the tutorial, get your ukulele, and get this piece of paper, and we'll get started in about a second. Okay, so you got your paper and you tuned up your ukulele. Today we're going to be talking about the A minor scale. What's really convenient about the scale is that it's on the first bottom string, the A string, and that's the only string you're going to be using. It has no sharps and flats in it, so it's very convenient. Before we start, take a note at the bottom of the fretboard. You got 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and 12th. So you need to take note of the positioning of the notes that are on the fretboard. For instance, notice that the C is on the 3rd, D is on the 5th, E is on the 7th, and the A is on the 12th, which is 12 frets away. By the way, any note that is 12 frets away is basically the same note from the original note. So if the original note is A in the bottom and you're 12 frets away, it'll be A again. So think about that. 12 frets away, same note. Now, just to kind of give you some ideas on what you can do to make it easier for you to know where the fret location is, what I did on one of my ukuleles, my older ukulele, is here's my older ukulele, is I marked off the top of the fret on the location. So you can see, like, I marked off like the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, and the 10th fret. So it helps me to locate where the frets are located, so when I play up the fretboard, it's easier. Now, that's something you can think about. What I did, this was like a long time ago, but I would put a dot of white out, let it dry for about a day, whatever, a few hours, then put a clear coat of clear nail polish to seal it in. Now, back then this wasn't a very expensive ukulele. It was like, I don't know, maybe $175. So, you know, I was willing to experiment with it. So that's what I did to mark up my frets. Now, that's something you can think about and something you can do. Some people just mark off certain frets, like maybe the 5th fret or the 7th fret, if they don't want to get too elaborate. The current ukulele I'm playing now is much more expensive. It has only one fret marked off, which is the 7th fret, and I'm not so inclined to mark off the other frets because this ukulele is a little more expensive. But it's very important before we start to make sure that you know the locations of the notes, because it'll help you when we play to be a little more familiar in where we're going to play. Well, so pause the tutorial, figure out what notes you're going to use and the location on the fretboard, and then we'll get started. Okay, hopefully you went ahead and did that. Let's check our tuning. G, C, E, A. Okay, what I'm going to do is it doesn't matter what finger you use to pick the note, first finger, middle finger, thumb. I'll use the thumb, but it doesn't matter. The main thing is that you play the notes correctly. I'm going to show the scale, A minor scale, just using my index finger for every single note of the fretboard. Okay, so before you start, what I would do is the kind of like the chord calc exercise that we did in the courses leading up to this. Oh, by the way, hopefully you did complete the courses leading up to this. It'll make it much easier as you progress into more elaborate scale patterns and how to use them. Okay, so moving right along, the A minor scale. What I would do before I even start picking out the notes, that means picking out the notes, is that I would start off by going open A, B, C, D. You notice I'm not playing. This is what you need to be doing. E, F, G, and A. You'd be locating where the notes are on the fretboard. Okay, that being said, I'll do that first. Pause the tutorial, do that, and then we'll get started in about a second. Okay, so you went ahead and did that. Now, I'm not gonna call it out like this: open A, second fret, first string, B, etc. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna call out the notes because you've done the preliminary exercises that helps you to know the notes, the location, and what you're gonna do. So I'm gonna just call the notes and then you play along. If you're unable to do that, don't proceed anymore. It's just going to be more frustrating. Make sure you know where the notes are, you know where you're playing the notes, you know what frets they're on. Okay, here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. All right? So we're going to try that again, just using the index finger. Now, if you're unable to do that, I would pause the tutorial, locate your notes, what frets they're on, okay? Be at least reasonable comfortable with that process before you move on. That being said, I'm going to do it again, about the same speed, maybe a little slower. Here we go. Just the index finger, starting with the open A. Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay. Now you need to have all those notes perfect before you move on anymore. Okay. And that's we're playing the A minor scale pretty slow. Okay. So it might speed up just a little bit, but not too much. The main thing is that you got the notes correct. Okay. This time we're going to descend from the high A. So you want to be at the 12th fret. By the way, some of your frets, some of your ukuleles may not have a 12th fret. Just do the best you can to follow along with me with whatever frets you have available. Okay, here we go. High A note, using the index finger, calling out the notes slowly. Here we go. A, G, F, E, D, C, B, open A. One more time, okay? Like I said, if you're unable to keep up at this point, and I'm not saying that you play at the speed I'm playing, I'm saying you have to play the correct notes. Okay, if you are unable to do that, you need to stop, pause the tutorial, go back and be able to play the correct notes, and then catch up with me and continue the tutorial. Okay, so let's start again. Descending from the high A, 12th fret. Here we go. A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Okay, so now that you can do it ascending and descending, what we're going to do is we're going to connect them. So we're going to ascend, we're going to go up the fretboard, then we're going to come down the fretboard, but we're going to pause when we get to high A, just for a second to kind of regroup, okay? About the same speed. This is the ascending, descending scale pattern. Here we go, A minor, open A, starting with the open A, here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Descending, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Okay? So that's the ascending and descending pattern, and you want to be able to do that relatively smoothly before going on. Next, we're going to do the scale pattern, ascending, then descending, continuous, no pause. Okay, so when we get up here to the A note, we're not going to pause. We're just going to turn around and come back down. Okay, I'll guide you through it. Not too fast. Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Coming down, G, F, E, D, C, B, and A. So that's the ascending, going up and down, continuous, no pauses. So those, so far I've showed you going up, ascending. Now I showed you the descending. Okay, then I showed you going up and coming down with a pause and come down. A. Okay, then I showed you it continuously going with no pauses. No pauses, come back down there. So those are the exercise patterns that you want to be able to do when you're doing this. Now I showed you it just using the index finger. What you want to be able to do is you want to be able to do them with the other fingers too. For instance, we did it with the index finger. Next you want to do it with your middle finger, okay? Okay, then you want to do it with your ring finger. Okay, and you want to go through the whole process. Now naturally I'm going pretty fast just for demonstration purposes, but you want to go as slow as possible. So in other words, the speed that you do your scales and the fingering that you choose to do it at, the speed that you do it at is without mistakes. So if you do it at a speed that you have a mistake, you're going too fast. You must be able to do the scale without mistakes. That's the speed you can go at. You can only speed up as long as you don't make mistakes. That's very, very important when you're learning the scale. Because if you make mistakes, really, technically, mentally, you're learning the mistakes. So please try to do it as perfectly as possible. Speed is not a factor in playing scales. It's getting it correct. The bottom line to playing fast is just time. In time, I guarantee you're going to play whatever it is you play faster. Okay, now another way that you can play the scale is using your fingers. Okay, like this. So you would play the scale, let's say index, middle, baby, and then continue on index, middle, baby, and then what I do is I slide up, but you don't have to slide up. For instance, open A, here's your scale. Okay, so that's what I do when I do it with the fingers. It's index, middle, baby, index, middle, baby, slide up. Or you don't have to slide, you can just play it. Once again, index, middle, baby, index, middle, baby, 12th fret, baby finger. You don't have to do it that way. Some people go like this with their first finger, and then second finger, and then third finger. You decide on what you want to do. I was just showing you what I do if I'm practicing the scale. That's what I do. Index, middle, baby, go to the next position, which is over here, E. Index, middle, baby. Either slide into it or just play it. Okay, but you decide. Go with the fingering that you're comfortable, and by all means, I was just showing you something just now that's a little bit more advanced. But in case you want to go in that direction, that's something that you can keep in mind. The main thing is that you play it. Start off with the index finger, and then play all the notes. And then you go through the series of how to practice it. Then you go with the next finger, which is the middle. and you go through all that series and how to practice it. Then you do the ring, and you go through that series. Now, if you just want to learn it with your first index finger, that's fine. That's up to you. I'm just letting you know that the more ways you can play it, if and when you decide to go on to the more advanced scales, it might require some other finger dexterity and positioning and movement. So it's good to be able to do it with various fingers. Okay, with that being said, please practice the tutorial several times. Start off with the basics in the beginning of the tutorial, using your index finger, etc., then moving up. Very, very, very important. Try to practice it at the speed that you're not making mistakes. So in other words, if you need to go as slow as possible, that's fine. For instance, let's say that you're going this slow. That's fine. The main thing is that you're not making mistakes, no matter how slow you gotta go, okay? That is the biggest secret to learning your skills. Okay, with that being said, hopefully you take some notes on your music sheet to help you and remind you whatever it is you do. And then when you get comfortable, we shall see you for the next lesson.